Yes, you're here. This is Morey. No, no, no. No, yes, please do. If you walk right by it, please do. And if you're gonna go to, Shiva.
Family in the car?
No, they're all coming in their own vehicles, so I don't know if they've arrived yet. Doesn't look like it yet. Between 5 kids all around town right now, it's gonna be a minute. Okay.
I signed. I'm down over here. I said, I will walk over here. This is the space.
Steve Cohn passed away. Is he turned in?
He's at home. He got a massive brain bleed. Yeah, it's kind of those things where you're.
So Jim's.
Yeah, let's go over here. My staff. Yes.
You know what's coming on Wednesday at 12:30?
I know you have to set the announcement. Actually, I think he said that.
Somebody's.
I know. It's gonna be in the sanctuary.
Adam. Well, yeah, because they're really tight on the field. The funny thing is, what about Anthony?
I know.
Because he was actually, Jim was actually talking to me. Well, he was, you know, the business. Well, yeah, because none of us were exempt from this.
Yeah, Larry now.
Well, I guess I'll approve it. Yeah. There's a blizzard too.
I know. I was like, do I have to move? But
So,
I know. So, but who knows what tomorrow shall bring?
the conference area.
I thought that was
Your
lovely.
wife is good.
Yeah.
Your wife's on top of
I
it.
really appreciate
Your wife is on top of it.
really have a gift. That was wonderful. Yeah, the black house, right?
Well, they're fine, but you know, she needed to.
I can tell. No, I want to actually put the face to my name, but I'm sure she's. Is that her?
It's her.
Yeah, the one with all the hugs. I'm sure.
The one facing us.
Yeah, she actually called at midnight. She was fair enough.
Yeah, she was. She told me where she put it. She said it took her like 3 hours to put the house. So she's in that house.
Yeah.
Just pull a sheet of things.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I also, there are some directors who are very good. The rest of it.
Well, you caught me a little bit. Like, the minute I was leaving the house, now the end products.
Good.
Yeah, finally. And, you know, I'm walking out the door. I'm going to go to breakfast.
You did good.
Yeah.
You did good.
And Ruben calls me. I should have seen it. I mean, that community, no matter what they come in. Yeah.
So unfortunately, she was just all Twitter related, and I think we got it right.
Well,
Thanks for the blanket. That was very thoughtful of you.
always.
It's getting cold, yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I did that. Really calm.
With the chairs, okay.
Maggie, you ready?
Yes.
This way. Then that.
It's up the other way. Me too. Not as many years. Quite a few years. Me too. As many. Not as many. Getting there. Ready for sure. Years, 40 years. Perhaps it takes care of you.
Okay, we have some more seats for those who need it, and everyone can just please gather around so you can hear Rabbi. Also, this would be a good time to silence your cell phones, just in case.
To be open, I'd like to ask my father, very close friend for the Shiva, we want him to say the first song.
It's a time to be here. It's a close friend, brother. It's a shame. Has a lift to the Gan Eden, lift to the river to come. That's where he is. So all that's us showing with their toy my almost nation wakes in the Yasha. When the service Hashem kept toy, the service so yeah, in the Lila. When you say it's also called the Martin, the Kuya Eaton, the Eaton, the Ego. So that's Yasi, that's Leah. The kind of Shoyam came to Moses, which led to Twin Ruach. He came to the Kuman Shoyam, the Mishpat of Toyim Madal Sadikim, the Dea Hashem Derek Sadikim, the Derek Shoyam Payday. Happy is the one who has not followed the counsel of the wicked. Nor stood in the path of sinners, sat in the company of the scornful. When delights in the Torah of the Lord, meditating God's Torah day and night, will be like a tree planted in the water that yields certain seasons. You know, with them. Whatever that went by crushes for the wicked. And like the shares, the wind drives it away. Therefore, the wicked tonight, provide judgment and sinners, and assembly. The Lord loves the way of the righteous, and the way of the wicked. And here, the Matt said, changing the loss of a husband, children, father, a friend of so many, dear friends of many, many people who were defended, loyalty, cared for. So we all mourn his loss, think about him, pray and hope that he'll have lifted in the name. world to come that will be lit up. Place of eternity, place where God will be with him. And all that he did in his lifetime will be merit, reward, car that such a person deserves. Hope and pray that that world to come will have all the benefits all we get to.
I can ask my colleague Rabbi Liban. Share the next call.
Bismillah David Adonai mi Yaakov Alecha Mishkain Hakachecha Halech Tamid Ufoel Tzedek V'Dover Emes Vilvavoy Lo Ragal Al Shainoi Lo Asa L'Rehu Ra'o V'Cherpa Lo Nasa Al Kazayvoy Nizeh Be'einav Nimas V'Esirei Adonai Yechabed Nishba L'Harav Lo Yamir Kasvoi Lo Nosan B'Neshech V'Shoichad Al Naki Lo Lakach V'Yisei Lo Yimai Song of David. Lord, who may sojourn in your tent, may dwell on your holy mountain. One who walks in purity, does what is righteous, and speaks the truth from the heart. One who has no slander on the tongue, nor has done harm to a fellow, nor casts disgrace toward a neighbor. In his eyes, a contemptible person is repulsive, but who honors those who are in awe of the Lord, who swears truthfully even to personal hurt and never retracts, who does not lend money on interest nor takes a bribe against the innocent. One who does these things shall never falter.
There are no words that can adequately express the sentiments and feelings that well up in our hearts as we gather here this afternoon to bid a final farewell and covered achon final respects to a beloved husband, father, grandfather, and loyal friend, Morey Troy, Moshe David Ben Rafal. A man who was dedicated to his family and community and had a huge, generous heart. A gentleman who earned the respect of a multitude of friends and business associates over many decades of involvement in business and the community. All of us here this afternoon share the grief and sorrow of the bereaved family and extend our heartfelt condolences to his beloved wife, Joni, children, Alan and Alyssa, Gary and T, Jay, Tammy and David, and Randy, and grandchildren, Zoe and Maddie, Jacob and Lily, who are with us today, Alex and Adam. Morey was born to Ralph and Leah Troy, Lil Troy as she was called, in May 1939. Grew up on the Old West Side, attended Cheltenham, Lake Junior High School, North High School, and ultimately DU. When he was there for a short time, when his mother told him, it's not worth going to law school, go get a job. So he did, and he had a long journey of many businesses, very interesting businesses along the way, as I heard from the family, quite a few. In 1961, he met Joni Cohn, a fellow Old West Sider, even though he probably did not know her from the West Side, who later moved across the viaduct to the East Side. And when they got married, and shared a wonderful 62 years enjoying their 5 children and 6 grandchildren together. Joni Mensch says that they had nothing when they first started, not much at least. Morey came into the marriage with 2 horses and a gun. The first horse he sold for his red Jag, which we all know was passionate about cars. So that was probably the beginning. Other one I think I heard he sold for the furniture to be able to have in their first apartment. Joni was in CU at that point, studying for psychology, and Morey needed to support the family. And he saw an opportunity as he saw his uncle was successful in the laundry business, and that's what he did. And for the next 60 years, he was in the laundry business. I remember personally dropping off shirts and picking up shirts as a youngster when I first learned to drive. And although those who knew Morey had a little bit rough edge, but I remember him being so gracious and so kind and such an open heart. It was very fascinating every time I used to go and pick up or drop off the laundry. Morey was an avid sports enthusiast. Early on, he was on the DU basketball team. He was a skier, both snow and water. He was an operative at the Indianapolis 500 for 50 years. It was a passion by him. He went all the time with the children. He knew all the famous people who had fancy race cars in those days and maybe more current, and actually bought in '89 the Indy Trans Am pace car, which the family talks about as quite a big deal. Morey was known to say, as long as one is walking and talking, enjoy life. To that end, Joni talks about the times they traveled extensively together, the wonderful time they spent together, the many winters for years they spent in Florida, and really enjoyed life to the fullest extent. Morey was a family man. He loved family, cared deeply about his family, his wife, his children, and grandchildren. They meant so much to him. Morey was a proud Jew. Very important to him is Judaism and supporting Judaism and Jewish causes. He was very generous. Generosity, he was a heart of gold. He would never be able to say no to anybody. With his time, he was passionate about his community and served on many boards, Shalom Park, Yeshiva Toras Chaim, Denver Police Foundation, and he felt strongly about public service and was involved with both DPD and State Patrol, and ultimately was appointed as an honorary captain. And I remember often how he talked about when he brought the police officers and others to the yeshiva dinner, and I talk about it often. He would say, I'm a lucky man, and I need to share what I have. Morey, together with his wife Joni, were extremely generous financially to the community. Morey was involved in starting not only in Jewish causes, involved in Jewish causes and supporting them, but he helped start the Safe House for battered women, DU Hillel House, a new one that was built a bunch of years ago, children with diabetes, and of course his Jewish community he was very passionate about. In this week's Torah portion, Parashas Truma, when God gives the command to Moshe to build a tabernacle in the desert, the holiest place where the Holy of Holies was, the ark, the altars, we brought sacrifices. And God commands Moshe and he says, tell the Jewish people that when they give money, he uses a verbiage, very interesting verbiage. He says, "V'yikhu truma me'es kol isha sheyitvenu libo." Take from me a portion from every person whose heart motivates him. And the obvious question is, when you're asking people to give money to a cause, you say, give money to me, give money to a cause. What's the idea of taking? And their answer is, the one who gives ultimately recognizes that they're taking more than they're giving. That ultimately what they get out of what they've given to charity, to holy causes, they have gained more. And that's something that I heard from Joni, and I heard from Morey all the time, that he was very passionate. He felt good about giving. It was actually taking. I feel and I want to give. That's what it's about. That's what giving stuff to giving charity was about. Another trait, another passion he had was education. He was very passionate about his children getting a good education. It was very important to him, going to school. I heard this morning There's a little debate whether it's in town or out of town. We'll leave that on the side. But education in general, he was very passionate about, and especially Jewish education, and supporting those who are less fortunate, possibly not able to afford an education or Jewish education. He would want to support those. Again, this week's Torah portion talks about the building the foundation of the tabernacle, and it says, when you talk about the pillars of the foundation of the tabernacle, it says, he shall make the planks of the tabernacle of acacia wood or cedar wood standing erect. And the obvious question is, what does that mean when you build with the beams going the other way? And what's the purpose of saying omdim, that they should stand? And we know that Mishkan stood, that was the core of the Jewish people. That's what it stood. That was the holy place. That was the place of meeting where God and the Jewish people met. And the omnipresence of God was there. And we understand that if we have a strong foundation, and ultimately that will be the future of our people. And homiletically, the sages tell us that the guarantee for the Jewish survival is that what stood for that was the tabernacle, and the Ate Shimtim Omdim, those pillars, those planks that stood strong, that was the idea that this will be the guarantee for our Jewish survival. This was something that Morey and Joni as well spoke about all the time, the passion for the Jewish future, how we have to make sure that there's survival, there's continuity. Where did these planks come from? They were in the middle of a desert. The Medrash tells us that the acacia wood came because Jacob, recognized and saw the Ruach HaKodesh that ultimately there's going to be a need in the desert and they won't be able to find this wood. So he made sure to plant them in Egypt and told his children to make sure that they take it out with them when they leave to be able to use in the desert. Where did Jacob get that from? The sages tell us that it came from the Eshel Shel Avram, the garden that Abraham, who was known for his chesed, his kindness, always there for people. This is where it came from. The idea of Jewish continuity is understanding where we come from. It's our ancestors understanding, bringing down the traditions of the Torah of Judaism and passing that on to our children. That's what Morey stood for, to make sure to pass on that rich heritage, to pass on the Masorah, the tradition from his ancestors, from his parents and grandparents, and be able to passionately pass that to his children and to the community. And together with Joni for 62 years, this was their passion. They talked about it, they believed in it, they supported it. This is what they were about. Moshe David ben Rafal, you should be a Melech Yosher and a source of strength. Your beloved wife Joni, your children and grandchildren, and for the entire community and all those who knew you. I'd like to ask son Gary to say a few words.
Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for being here today. Today is Monday, May 20th. On Saturday, May 18th, or February 18th at 10:30 p.m., my father passed away. My father was born on May 18th, 1939, and he died on February 18th, 2023. He lived 83 years and 9 months. And for the last 6 years, since 2017, for the last 6 years, he struggled with dementia. And for my entire life, my father was a very strong, determined person that always wanted to do good and do right by others. And I always saw him in a position of strength. And I always saw him doing right by others. And for the last 6 years, we noticed that his mind was atrophying and deteriorating. And it humbled me to realize that human life is fragile, and at a moment's notice, anything could happen. And it really caused me to reflect over the last 6 years about how grateful I was to have Morey as my father and have Joni as my mother, and how grateful I am to be a part of a family with 5 children with my brother Alan, my brother Jay, my brother Randy, my sister Tammy, and all of the beautiful, wonderful people that are here today that were friends with my father, who have positive memories, positive, happy, and favorable memories. And I'm confident and hopeful that the memories that you have with my father will give you strength during this most difficult time of grieving and sadness and sorrow. And that please know that my father wants for you happiness and prosperity and abundance, and to do right and to do good by others. And that my greatest request of all of you is to live the life you love, to love the life you live, and continue using your gifts and your talents and your strengths and your skills and your abilities to be a mensch and do right by others. My father will never die, and he will be my father forever. So it's just overwhelming, the outpouring of love and respect that all of you are here to provide. My father was the champion of the world. When I heard the news, time stopped in my mind. My mind was racing through all the experiences that I have had with my father for the last 59 years. 1 month ago, on January 4th, I celebrated my 59th birthday with gratitude of how fortunate I am that my family members are all very healthy people. And fortunately for my father, during the last 6 years, he was not able to rely on his mind, but he was able to rely on my mother, Joni, who made his life comfortable. And she endured a tremendous amount of stress and challenges, as we all have, in watching somebody we love whose life and health deteriorated day by day. So I can't thank you enough for sharing your outpouring of love and respect to my father. And I really believe that my father made everyone's life better in a little bit better way than it was. I know that that's true for me. I know my father will never die, and I wish and want all of you to have strength in the positive memories that you have about my father. Thank you for being here today. Would anyone else like to say anything? Does anyone else have anything to say?
Before we do the final act, Chesed Shel Emes, the ultimate kindness, for bringing Morey, Moshe David ben Rafal, his final resting place, lifted Gan Eden. We ask of you mechila and forgiveness on behalf of the family, on behalf of the Tever Kadisha, anything that might have not been done or not possibly given you the appropriate respect. We ask for mechila, for forgiveness, for anything and everything. Now, we also, as we will have the family will tear the kriya, make the bracha, and we will lower the casket. And we also have dirt from Mount Har Zesim, Mount of Zions, where ultimately the Chiyas HaMesim, resurrection, will be, and to connect us to Israel, the land of Israel, and Eretz Yisrael, pour a little bit of dirt from there for that connection.
Put it over your lap.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who is the true judge. Put the shovelfuls of dirt, do 3 shovelfuls, and afterwards, in black anticipation, put the shovel back in the dirt. Let the next person. Put it down.
Okay, thank you.
There's a big hole in the show. Just.
Sus na Allah vai se bani que o da se fez na mim. Diga tu na mim por aqui. Eu já tão daí todo faz por lá faz que não faz. Ni não ainda خبر خمين ما نقول فايز que o da خمين nas faz. Nem mencionou ia ia ia. Aí sai lá que ia 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 não tem. Aí tu que na final me chegou não 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 فالوين هنا ما كان شيء دعني أنا صدق في داخل التيك تاع بدورة فتشوف وتاخذ لأن عارف ميكاس بدأت صدق أنا مسافر هم صدق بهمس أنا أنا طبعا شو تصدق بهمس كيف لو تبي داخل صدق ما من خبي داخل راكن أو فلايت تصين داخل صين ما في داخل بدو هاي تبرع هذا عشان ناخذ بفيس الفضاء خير إنه هذا سيفويش في ناخذ في هذا حاجة كذا من الشيء اللي يعرف صباح من السماء من الوقت شيء ما بين الوقت ناخذ خبر من الشيء والله شوف هذا اللي See the moon is coming. Nice. El Malay Rachamim, Shechein Bamloimim. I'm saying no khan, no no, can't say ashino. Malot, kidoshim etorim, kizora horoki amasivim. Es nishma, Moshe David ben Rafael, shalchaloi lamoi lamoi. Babu. אנחנו מתפללים בעד עשרת נשמתוי, בגן עדן תהמנו חסוי, לכן בעל הרחמים יסירו בסדר כבוד לא ילמים, יצרור החיים את נשמתוי, אדונו יונח חלוסוי, ושנוח ושלום למשכבו, שנאמר אמן. God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant proper repose on the sheltering wings of your presence in the lofty levels of the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament unto the soul of Moshe David ben Rafael Delea, who has gone into his world and for whose memory we pray. May his repose be in paradise. May the Master of compassion bring him under the cover of God's wings and bind his soul in the bond of life. May the Lord be his heritage, and may he repose on the resting place in high, and let us respond. Amen. Before we bring to close the ceremony today and we do a short 2 lines. We'll ask everyone to make 2 lines. It will be Menachem Avil, come for the mourners. Just quickly about the Shiva details. Shiva will be at the home, 183 South Pontiac, this afternoon, and there'll be a through 6:30 with a service at 5:25, and that will be through Thursday. And Friday service, and Shiva will be from 12 to 3.
Okay, we'll be signing off. Thank you.